Hi there, ho there everyone. 2024 is finally over, so it's time for our third annual movie reaction ranking.
Shut up, James!
I am Shut Up James, and thank you for being here. I'm gonna rank my top 10 favorite movie reactions from 2024. Because it's not narcissistic enough for me to record myself watching movies, now I'm going to record myself ranking myself watching the movies that I watched. So I'm going to run through every movie that we watched together this year, and then we'll get into my favorites and least favorites. I will have a few dishonorable mentions in this ranking. But first, thank you to my YouTube members and my Patreon squad. Do you see this hair flying by? Thank you to my YouTube members and my Patreon squad. This page would not exist without you, and to my subscribers for coming on this weird journey with me and watching this crazy shit. I really hope everyone's having a good holiday season, a great new year. Leave your New Year's resolutions down in the comments and I'll send my thoughts or prayers or whatever the equivalent of that is going to be in 2025. So without further whatever, these are the 36 movies that we watched together on this channel, not including the full-length reactions that are on Patreon. Can you believe we watched 36 movies. Slumber Party Massacre 2, It Came from Outer Space from 1953. Creep from 2014, Creep 2 from 2017, Quarantine, Lake Mungo, Lover's Lane, April Fool's Day, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2, Hellraiser from 2022, Idle Hands from 1999, Alien Covenant, The Ewok Adventure, Happy Death Day to You,
Like I'm forgetting some.
Killer Clowns from Outer Space, Sleepaway Camp 2, Unhappy Campers, Fatal Games, Piranha, the original from 1978, Bad People Doing Bad Things, The Burning, Maxine, The First Omen, Ernest Scared Stupid, Hell House LLC, Knock, Knock 2, Haunt from 2019, Hishkenstein, After Dark, which is the follow-up to Bad People Doing Bad Things, The Substance, Thanksgiving, Infested, Terrifier 3, P2, when we finished the holiday season with Gremlins. It was a busy year. Now, even though that list included a few amazing short films in full-length format on the channel, I will be excluding those from the ranking. So it's just the mainstream stuff. Ready? Spoilers, possible spoilers ahead. The countdown begins. My light went out. Has it been out this whole time? Number 10 is Creep from 2014. This was our first ever found footage February reaction, and it exceeded all of my expectations. Found footage films are usually jump scare movies, in my opinion. Not always the most thought-provoking. This water looks weird. The acting can also come off as cringe because of timing and not being accompanied by music or proper editing. This has an amazing performance by Mark Duplass that leans into the cringe. We welcome the awkward pauses and unnatural dialogue.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
It all elevates the experience. It's freaking weird as hell. And the creators go to great lengths to present us with scenarios we think we've seen before and then flip them all on their ass. The whole thing is weird, uncomfortable, and for lack of a better word, creepy. It definitely breathes new life into the found footage subgenre. Oh my god, and that ending. Number 9 on this list is The Burning. Practical effects heaven. We get the classic 80s slasher movie setup of someone was wronged and now they're gonna come back for revenge. Your core audience just expects it. But The Burning lingers on the pain and suffering of our antagonist much longer than its peers, showing Cropsey in the hospital and then establishing his newfound brutality with the horrific murder of that poor sex worker who was just doing her job.
Are you coming up? 'Cause I'm going in.
By the time we get to the camp and start meeting the rest of our characters, I was nervous. Like my palms were sweaty just from go. Cropsey is a real threat in the film, and once the blood starts flowing, murder. Tom Savini delivers crazy practical effects in spades, not only with the kills, but with our final boss moment when we finally get to see Cropsey. The reveal of his face was terrifying. Also, every jump scare got me. Like, everyone.
Don't move. You're dead!
Alright, speaking of jump scares and found footage, number 8 on this list is Quarantine. This movie shatters all of my senses. In place of orchestral music or editing, we get impeccable sound design and strategically placed cuts, precise camera work, and staging. The pacing is rapid fire in this one. We're introduced to our leads, most of whom I like, most of whom are also insanely handsome. And then, like, boom, panic ensues. Once the crazy starts, it never stops. Blood, violence, gore, and jump scares. Jump scares for days. When that body falls in the lobby, I feel like I can rewatch this anytime and still have fun and still get scared.
It's gonna go.
Number 7, the 2024 horror film, The Substance. Bitch, this movie. So I got tons of flack for not getting to go see this movie in theaters, but I did watch it on the channel with you all, and wow. Wow, wow, wow. A Hollywood satire disguised as a dark comedy about ageism that's also a creature feature with some of the most insane body horror I have ever seen. I called it a David Cronenberg film wrapped in pink spandex. Visuals, check. Sound design, double check.
It stops.
This movie has ruined shrimp for me. Demi Moore gives arguably her best performance since G.I. Jane. The bathroom scene actually stands out to me a lot, kind of grounding the rest of the film. It's devastating. It exceeded all of my expectations with one of the saddest and most ambitious endings in any movie ever. The amount of blood used in that theater rivals the Evil Dead remake. Number 6. So this is the... Did I say number 6 or sex? Number 6 is Damien Leone's Terrifier 3, Christmas Carnage. Art the Clown doesn't care if you've been naughty or nice, he just wants to see what your insides look like. I don't know what it says about me that I love these Terrifier films. Damien Leone has created an amazing franchise brought fully to life by David Howard Thornton, who plays Art the Clown, and now Lauren Levera, who plays Sienna. Their chemistry rivals, Nancy and Freddie, Laurie and Michael. Honestly, these characters are reaching icon status very quickly. Like that final fight scene. Jesus. Also, props to them for leveling up Vicky. Kinda hated her in the first 2 movies. Oh, my nasty water's gone. Although this movie is a little more mean-spirited than the first 2 films, in my opinion, and feels more like a piece of a puzzle than a whole cohesive film, kind of like how the middle Saw sequels started to feel, there is still no denying how fun and scary and creative this movie is. Genius and risky having it take place on Christmas, but loved the Santa soup, loved the little Easter eggs. Art the Clown should just take over all holidays going forward. Loved it. Okay, we're in the top 5 now. Are you ready? Are you ready for the top 5? I don't know if I am. Next movie on this list is the 1999 horror comedy Idle Hands. I watched this back in the spring with you all, and I was shocked at how funny this was. 90s jokes don't always hold up too well, but I was cackling at the dialogue and the physical comedy. What surprised me even more is how scary it actually was. Horror comedies tend to lean one way or the other. A horror film with some comedy or a comedy with some horror sprinkled in. Idle Hands is a perfect 50-50 split. Suspense, gore, that opening scene scared the shit out of me. Probably Devon Sawa's best performance. Seth Green being peak Seth Green. Would have liked a little more Vivica, honestly, but having her at all was amazing. Original, fun, I was never bored, and I'll absolutely revisit this every Halloween. I keep one like this. This light, oh my god. Fuck it, who cares? Anyway, Idle Hands, fantastic.
Look at me, I'm Leatherface!
Number 4 on this list is Haunt from 2019. This was a Patreon request from Tattooed Horror Dude, and wow, this shit surprised me. I'd heard of this, I'd seen the poster, but all of my expectations were shattered, even from the opening credits. The movie visually had no right to be as stunning as it was. Every shot is gorgeous, the score is epic, the lighting, the sound, everything, all of it. There is such a sense of dread established early on that never lets up. The lead actress and the whole cast, honestly, delivered fun, grounded performances that kept me engaged. And her progression from, oh, I'm so wounded, to let's take off your mask was so rewarding. Her becoming a badass felt earned. And can we talk about the look of the killers? Holy shit. I keep picking up this cup, it's empty. Number 3, I don't care what anyone says, I love this movie. It's Thanksgiving. There will be no leftovers. Damn, I really loved this movie. Maybe one of the best horror movie openings in the last decade. Funny, relevant, and brutal as hell. Points for the Gina Gershon cameo. I loved the younger cast. No one annoyed me. I loved the whodunit aspect. Everybody's a suspect. The killer was intimidating. The kills were clever. The whole diner scene needs to be studied, honestly. The chase sequences reminded me of the early Scream movies, and at the end of the day, the movie knew how to have fun. It knew when to take itself seriously, and it also knew when to wink at the audience. In my opinion, Eli Roth's best film. Loved it. Loved it.
Dinner is served.
Okay, number 2 on this list. The top like 3 or 4, they moved around a lot. I'm very indecisive, but number 2, as of right now, is the 2024 horror prequel, The First Omen. Another movie request from Tattooed Horror Dude. The guy has taste. And if I love a full-length request enough, it clearly ends up on YouTube. I wasn't sure what to expect from this. The marketing seemed promising, but the story felt obvious. It's a prequel to The Omen, so someone's gonna get preggers and pop out a demon. It's a tale as old as time. But this movie was an experience. experience for me. First of all, the opening was so unbelievably haunting. A perfect showcase for the actors and such precision from the director. This could have been a throwaway scene, but every beat holds weight. The music, the slow-mo, and then that bloody reveal. Genius. Our protagonist starts to uncover some secrets buried within the walls of the church that she calls home. No, literally, there's shit buried in the walls. But plot twist after plot twist after demon baby after demon baby. This movie assaults your senses in the most artistic way, while never coming off as pretentious. Incredible performances, amazing visuals and sound design. The jump scares, Father in heaven. I just can't say enough amazing shit about this movie. I loved it for subverting my expectations and also not insulting its audience. I want more horror movies like this one. Horror, but make it classy.
It's all for you. No, don't.
Okay, now before we get to number one, if you haven't already, like, comment, subscribe, right? Turn on notifications. Here are a few honorable mentions. Movies that almost made the list. Slumber Party Massacre 2. I really loved this movie. This was actually number 10, then number 9, then, out of the list, then back in the list. So fun, so stupid, and that soundtrack.
Can't stop loving you.
Gremlins from 1984. What an adorable little creature feature. The practical effects had Kara and I gagging, and I cannot wait to watch part 2. The Ewok Adventure, not a horror movie. Obviously, I was kind of experimenting with that one, but that movie was a delight from start to finish. I loved watching that movie. Now for the fun of it, I'm gonna throw in a couple of my favorites just from Patreon. These exist as of right now in full-length format only. Visiting Hours from 1982. This was a request from Christian. This reaction will end up on YouTube at some point because the movie completely blew me away. Fell in love with it immediately. Loved this film. So thank you, Christian, for that request. Serial Mom, which was requested by Pogo Yaga. I cannot believe I had gone my whole life without watching this movie. It had no right to be as fun and clever as it was. The Hand That Rocks the Cradle. This was a request from Scott Witherall. A domestic thriller that, again, subverted my expectations. I thought I knew where it was going to go. It didn't go there, and I just need to see more Rebecca De Mornay, period, full stop. And lastly, also, right now, only exclusive to Patreon, but Rose Red. This was a TV show request from Rivercrest Fallen. What a good time. I'm a sucker for a TV movie, and the Stephen King TV movies, I feel like, are a subgenre all their own, and this one did not disappoint. Now, if you want to watch any of those full-length reactions, click on the Patreon link in the description down below, but without further whatever, my number one favorite movie reaction from 2024 is Ernest Scared Stupid. Holy shit. I laughed, I cried, I loved this movie. Ernest Scared Stupid delivered a near fatal dose of nostalgia that I didn't know I needed. Jim Varney as Ernest, comedy gold. I'm sorry, Jim Varney as all of the characters in this movie. He plays the ancestor, the explorer, the old lady.
Do you smell fish?
The jokes all land, and the physical comedy was giving Jim Carrey, whom when he even told that doll, "It's you or me."
You'll never get away with this, Ernest. I know where you live.
It's set on Halloween, and I love a good spooky theme, but surprisingly, the movie's also scary. The troll practical effects reused from Killer Clowns from Outer Space are actually creepy, very wet, very goopy. Lots of boogers, lots of snot. I love when kids' horror movies used to feel like they actually had stakes, like the kids or their parents were actually in danger. This one is an instant Halloween classic for me, along with Casper and Hocus Pocus. Also, Rimshot, that handsome little puppy. I cried when he got turned into wood. That messed me up. So good. I loved every second of this movie.
How about a bumper sandwich, booger lips?
Okay, enough fun. Now we have some dishonorable mentions. Now, I didn't really hate any of these movies. I just hope to never see them again. Not a fan of Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. It's a shame when a movie doesn't realize it's so bad, it's bad, and takes itself too seriously. The sequel was cute though. Alien Covenant. What a waste of time. This movie felt like 5 hours long. One really cool action sequence and a gay adjacent Michael Fassbender couldn't save this one for me. At least it looked pretty though. Also, Fatal Games. I wanted to love how silly this was. I really did. But the camp wasn't even camping. Boring characters, boring kills, boring. Everything felt pretty flat for me. And the anti-trans plot twist, I can't. Now, speaking of camp, the movie that I enjoyed the least this year on the channel, Sleepaway Camp 2, Unhappy Campers. I know this movie has a following, and I totally get why. I get it. Stupid 80s slasher movies are my favorite, but this one was so lackluster for me and incredibly boring. Our new Angela felt so far removed from who she was in the last movie. Her motives were non-existent, which shouldn't matter, but it just kind of made her annoying. Talking back, you die. Drinking or smoking, you die. Simply existing in a context, you die. There's just nothing moving the movie forward. People are just simply there. And things are kind of just happening. There's no real beginning or middle or end, so I'm sorry, but it's my least favorite movie of the year. So much so that I was going to watch part 3 right after and was like, no, I think I need a break. I can wait another year. Also, too many gay slurs. So that's it. That's my best and worst of 2024. Like, comment, subscribe, turn on notifications. Do you agree with my ranking? Remember, this is just my opinion. If you love Sleepaway Camp 2, great. If you hate Ernest Scared Stupid, awesome. If you want early access to all my videos and to my Discord server so we can keep chatting, click on the join button. For the full-length version of all 62 movies I reacted to in 2024, click the Patreon link in the description. I hope everyone has an amazing new year. I am very excited for 2024 to end. Huge thank you again to my YouTube members and my Patreon squad. You're all incredible. I have been Shut Up James. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.
Shut up, James!